What's up guys? This is Jacob and welcome to Lifey. In today's video, we'll be talking about the top 5 greatest things about St. George, Utah. Now, St. George, Utah initially started out as a retirement community with a lot of older folks moving to St. George to retire because of the nice climate. Even for those who aren't retired, it's been said that this sort of retirement feel creates a nice friendly, amiable atmosphere in St. George. In fact, the median age of St. George, Utah is on average 5.8 years higher than those in other cities, but that's all right because everyone's friendly there. Now, I don't know that it should be especially surprising that in a community that's a little bit older, quite a few older people are pretty friendly actually. Because of the retirement feel in St. George, it's been said by a lot of locals that it's a really friendly, genuine place to be. The problem is we did take the liberty of Googling the crime rates in St. George. Don't do that, because if you're under the mistaken assumption that crime is lower in St. George, it's not. Here's the good news though. If you do happen to get robbed, the criminals will probably be pretty friendly. They may even take off their shoes before robbing your house. Coming in at number 3 is the landscape. St. George is an absolutely beautiful city. You have gorgeous red rock and sand juxtaposed with beautiful gleaming blue skies juxtaposed with tall, vivid green palm trees. St. George makes you feel like you're in an oasis, but in reality, you're only 4 or 5 hours south of the capital city of Salt Lake. Truly, the beautiful red rock, the temperate climate, the tall palm trees, these are all things that make people want to live in St. George and that make the landscape a thing to behold. Number 2 is the proximity to national parks. St. George is a beautiful place, but it is surrounded by beautiful places. Only a 45-minute drive from downtown St. George is Zion National Park. And pretty much anyone who's ever been to Zion National Park could tell you it is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Other national parks that are close are Bryce Canyon National Park as well as Snow Canyon National Park, which again have natural features and wonders that you are not going to find in many other places. So when you're going to St. George, the city itself is absolutely gorgeous. But another pro is that St. George acts as sort of a base camp for multiple national parks in the nearby area that are absolutely gorgeous. Don't just take our word for it. Go to St. George and see for yourself. And the number 1 greatest thing about St. George is the temperature. What initially attracted so many different retirees to St. George from around the state was the temperate climate of St. George. Even in the very coldest months of the year, the average temperature of St. George is still above 50 degrees. That is in sharp contrast to the capital city of Salt Lake and several other surrounding cities in northern Utah, which are much, much colder. It's actually funny because in the cons video that we filmed about St. George, people also said the temperature was one of the worst things about St. George. Anyway, we'll let you decide. But honestly, the temperate climate, if that's what you're into, can't be beat. And that's it, folks. Those are the 5 greatest things about St. George, Utah. If you liked our video, go ahead and like or subscribe. Also, if you liked, comment. And even if you didn't like, just comment. Let us know why. Anyway, we'll see you next time on Lifey.